If you've seen my previous video about this USB-C tester, it might not come as any surprise to you that the USB-C plug has given up. And basically this plug's got a little bit bent, as these things are apt to do when they're plugged into the side of laptops, and the little diode that was in there to kind of prevent it moving around didn't really do an awful lot, and now it doesn't work. And if we just flip it over, and what we're going to be looking at today is obviously the connectors down here, but it definitely seems like I can, even now I can kind of see them moving on the PCB. So I'm going to need to get it under the microscope and see if I can reflow those connections. And yes, if we have a look at that, we can see that clearly that is not happy at all. So I think I need to get some flux on there and get all these pins resoldered. Let's just get that just flowing a little bit. There we go. If we can get that end one down, that'll be good. I'm going to get a bigger iron for this. Sometimes bigger is better, even for small little connectors like this. Turn that on each side. And just put a little bit of solder on. Might put some more flux on there just to help these pins not flow together. That's a horrible connector to work on. Let's get some more flux in there. There we go. Let's see what we can do with those now. Might need to get a bit of braid on that. When in doubt, more flux. Sometimes nice to use a iron tip with a higher thermal mass for these things, especially with desoldering wick, where all that nice copper just wicks all the heat away. Just that one on the end there now. Well, they all seem to be on again. they're not moving. Oh, I can see a little short underneath that one at the end there. So there's a tiny little short. Yeah, just between these ones here. I can see some solder. See if we can get in there and get to that. No, I think it's still there. Wow. What a pain in the arse these connectors are. Maybe it'd actually be better just desoldering the entire thing and then just manually soldering it back on again, perhaps. That might be a better idea. It depends if I can get to that, because it's wicked exactly where I don't want it to be. Okay, that might be alright now. I'm going to test that for continuity. And I think the best thing to do after I've done this is to put some steel epoxy just round the back here, just to hold it all in place. Let's test those connections. Yeah, these three are still connected together. Right, I think I'm going to try just taking that plug off. How hard can it be? Famous last words. Can we get this off? Well, that is the question. Or more to the point, can we get it off without melting the plastic? Because if I melt the plastic, I'm going to have to get another plug. So near yet so far. Oh, and I've knocked a component off, but that's alright. Well, that's that off. Okay, so we've got a bit of a cap knocked off there. Where is it? There we go. Let's get that put back in place. And I suppose we probably ought to put that back in place as well. Who could have imagined that something this small would be so fiddly? So we need to, I think we need to reduce my airflow for a start. There we go. Would have been a bit more sensible. Cool. Okay. So only one set of pins is actually used. So I've just got to clear that solder out of those ones there. See if we can use a smaller tip for that. There we go, that's all cleared. Can't see any shorts now. Oh, I hate working under this microscope. Well, not the microscope, the camera. Unfortunately, there's a lot of black on here and it's quite difficult to see some of these connections. Let's solder that end one anyway. Just to get that a bit more secured to the board. The other end one has basically disappeared. No, that's not even soldered properly. There we go. That's better. When in doubt, flux. Well, we're going to play that game again, are we? Ah, these are to solder, aren't they? Can't use this video now. I said the K word. Okay, that end one's joined together again. There we go. It might be okay. Oh no, I can see something just. Wow, these are fiddly bastards, aren't they? Let's try it now. Well, it looks like the outside pins are connected to ground anyway. And hopefully, I can't see any moving. Hopefully that is done. Let's give it a bit of a clean up and plug it into something with USB-C on it. And as you can see, I've put some steel epoxy resin just around the connector, and I've also done it on the rear of the connector as well. That epoxy resin is connecting physically to the diode that was supposed to hold this plug-in before. And now we just need to see whether it works or not. And we're going to connect this to my Rode wireless mic. Plug that in there. And plug that in there. And we have a display and current consumption. Excellent, that works. And it's going to be a lot tougher than it was before. If you've enjoyed watching this video with some USB-C repairing, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.